Hello and welcome to A-Level Government and Politics. Now, before we actually get started, I have got for you the infallible 60-second Should I Do Politics test. Have a look at the following. Yes, that's right. It's that fluffy-haired Boris Johnson, the much missed Mrs. May, the much misunderstood Donald Trump, that stalwart of Europe, Angela Merkel, that character of Corbynism, Jeremy Corbyn, that icon of the past, Margaret Thatcher, and that icon of needing an eye test, everyone's favourite advisor, Dominic Cummings. If you said, who are those guys? Then politics may not be for you, but don't switch off, because if you're interested, politics is a home for anybody. But still, If you said, yeah, I know who those guys are, then politics probably is for you. And if you smiled, or scowled, or swore, then politics is definitely for you. Because what we're all about is we're about opinions and ideas. And by that, I mean your opinions and your ideas based on your understanding of your own world around you. This is what we're doing here, guys, and I would love you to join us. So here we are, A-Level Government and Politics. Your course will be delivered across the 2 years by myself, Mrs. Metters, by Mrs. Anderson, and by Mrs. Galley. And that's across your Year 12 course and your Year 13. Well, what is A-Level Politics? Because what you certainly haven't done is a GCSE in politics, because we don't run one of those. Well, actually, politics is going to be quite unlike any of your other A-levels, because politics is a living subject that is happening right now all around us. All your other A-level teachers can use the same open evening PowerPoints that they've used in the past, because the course doesn't change. They can use the same teaching file that they've used in the past, because the course doesn't change. My history teaching file doesn't change. But my politics teaching file does, because year on year we are looking at what is actually happening right now in our actual world. And what we're doing is we're understanding it. And then you're developing your own opinion of it, your own understanding, and your own opinion of what is actually affecting you right here and right now, and what's actually going to affect your future. So let's get down to it. Your Year 12 A-Level Politics course. What will we study? Well, in Year 12 we focus on UK politics, developing an understanding of what works and maybe what doesn't. We look at democracy and participation, getting people to vote, how many vote. We look at elections, the election systems we use to vote, and the ups and downs of different systems. There are more than one way of doing it out there, believe it or not. We look at all our different political parties in the UK at the moment, their policies, what they're offering. But we also look at our voting behaviour and, interestingly, the role our media has on how we cast our votes. We look at our Parliament. We also look at our Prime Minister and the Cabinet and the role they play in relation to Parliament and the dynamic between the two. We look at our UK Constitution, the set of guidelines that govern the relationship between us, the governed, and the government. And of course, we look at our independence and sovereignty and our relationship with that fabulous institution, the European Union. Who knew that was going to change? Then we come to your Year 13 course. Actually, we bridge Year 12 into 13 with a look at ideologies. This is the really fun bit of the course. This is where you start to come into your own as a political thinker and observer. These are different ideologies on how government and governing should go. So we look at liberalism, conservatism, socialism, and feminism, four quite contrasting ways of looking at how our world of politics ought to go. Clearly, there is no right or wrong answer, because this is where you start to develop a real strength and confidence in your own understanding of what it is that's happening around us right here and now. Good stuff. And then finally, we really know we've got going when we pack our suitcases and head across the pond and look at American politics. Now, this is the final part of the course that pulls it all together. We look at the US Constitution and federalism. We look at Congress. We look at the US presidency and presidents, whoever they may be. We look at the Supreme Court and civil rights issues in the US. But the really important thing we look at is we look at the UK and the US systems compared. What we do is we take all that knowledge of UK systems that you built up at the beginning of year 12. We take all that understanding of different ideological standpoints that you've built up over the end of year 12 and year 13. We take everything that we've learned about US systems in action and we compare and contrast the two. Why is it that these two relatively similar democracies have gone down similar and yet different paths? Are we seeing strengths? Are we seeing weaknesses? And here's the thing, can we analyse those? And this is you as fully fledged students of politics analysing our UK system, analysing that contrasting US system, and seeing if you can understand, for me, where you are seeing differences, why you are seeing differences, where you are seeing strengths, and where you are seeing weaknesses. This is you as a student of politics, guys. Really well done. So, where could you go with your politics A-level after the wonderful world of school? Well, if you're thinking of any kind of higher education degree, this is university, not just politics or social sciences or economics or anything like that. The fact that you've studied politics at A-level gives you a solid underpinning to understand most of what university education is requiring of you. It's a respected A-level to have. Having said that, it's a respected A-level to have on your CV for just about any career path that you want to go down. The study of A-level politics says something about you as a student. It says you've got a certain level of independence and motivation. It says that you've been able to look at the world around you and analyse and pick it apart. The skills that we're developing within politics are the skills that underpin a wide range of career choices. And have a look, there's some of the big money career choices here, like law. Not sure about teaching, but it's a fab career, guys, nevertheless. And how is all this going to be examined, I hear you ask? Obviously, we all love a good exam at the end of 2 years. I'm afraid it is all exam at the end of 2 years. There is no coursework or NEA element to politics A-level. Instead, we have 3 two-hour exam papers. In terms of teaching weighting, exactly half of what you're examined on will be delivered over the year 12 part of your course, and the other half over the year 13 part of your course, with a good chunk of time left over for revision as well. Your exam papers will cover a mixture of the work we've done for UK politics and our first 3 ideologies, that's liberalism, conservatism and socialism. Your second paper will look at the other half of our UK work and our additional ideology, which is feminism. And your third paper will be where we look at our US work and also where we contrast our US and UK analyses. The format of the exam papers is nice and regular. There's a mixture of short answer and mini essays, not long ones. The most is about a half hour of your time, and there are some source stimulus questions too. So it's a manageable set of exams with a manageable set of exam skills that we will start practicing from day one. By the time you sit down in the exam to write your extended answers, you'll be able to write these essays in your sleep. Obviously, please don't fall asleep in the exam. But of course, we've said that your politics A level is more than just studying something out of books. This is the real world that's happening around us right now. So we try very hard in politics to make your course more than about just results. We're a long-standing member of the House of Lords Outreach Scheme. We've welcomed members of the House of Lords. We've welcomed members of various political parties, the Green Party, UKIP Party. We've welcomed members of European Parliament, all to Saltash to talk to us. We've made the most of the theatre across the bridge on our doorstep. We've been across there and taken in a show every now and then, when there's something on that's got a political twang to it. And of course, we run our mock elections and mock referendums, mock snap elections, whatever's going on out there in the real world. We've mimicked it here in school. What you won't have realised is that it's our A-level politics students that are the driving force behind the mock elections and the candidates and the campaign teams that you guys have enjoyed in the past being the electorate of. I think they've enjoyed some of the cake too, though. Did you enjoy the cake? I enjoyed the cake. So after all this, what do I need to be able to study A-level politics, I hear you ask? Well, the good news is that there are absolutely no prior knowledge requirements whatsoever. You can pick up your A-level course with zero current political knowledge at all. What you really do need to have, though, is an interest in current affairs. This needs to be a subject that interests you. You need a competent standard of written English, which I think is the same for just about all your A-levels. This is A-levels we're talking about here. But the most important thing you really need are opinions. What is it that you actually think? Your political opinions, your political beliefs don't matter, but having an opinion is the really important bit. And it fits pretty much with any subject combination that you're doing. It sits in a very complementary way with things like sociology and psychology and English and history and geography in some ways. It makes a really nice contrast to some more math subjects like maths and physics and sciences and things like that. If you're interested, this is where we can find a home for you. And finally, just in case anyone's still worried about politics being boring, and after all this, let's have a think. Why study politics? Well, because, guys, politics is far too important to be left to the politicians. Take care, guys. Thanks for listening. See you in September, I hope.